Okay, so we're here with Anthony Eliopoulos, and we're doing our series of Ask Anthony. Okay, so I was today at the gym, and I see these people doing these silly, weird exercises. What do you think about that?
Well, it kind of frustrates me because I of course been going to gyms for a long time, and I've seen the changes in the way gyms are. I've always been under the theory that you should train kind of in seasons. Now, I didn't come up with that. That was a theory that Frank Zane had, and he would always say that the Earth has seasons for a reason. There's a winter, there's a spring, there's a summer, blah blah blah, and you should train the same way. And the reason is there's a whether you can compete at a high level or not, there should be a time that you diet really hard and you train really hard. And whether it be to compete in a high-level bodybuilding contest, to get ready for some type of season, high school reunion, whatever, it's that change, that balls to the wall, if you will, training. And then there should be another season where you might be working on something, like I'd like to bring up my arms or my legs or my back. And then you should allot for a season that you don't train that hard, you kind of loaf. Because there's, you want to have a regular life. There's holidays that come up, birthdays, busy time at work, whatever, where you can't train as hard. And so you kind of go through the motions. Back to your question about people doing stupid things in the gym, I think the majority of people that go to a gym, and every gym has them, the people, they're in there day in, day out, and they look the same month after month, year after year. The reason is because they do that third stage constantly, the loafing, the kind of going through the motions, and they're not really getting anything done. They figure it's kind of a thing where, this makes me feel better about myself because I ate a bag of Oreo cookies last night, and then after I went drinking at happy hour, but I'm in here doing some machine curls or something, so everything's going to be right in the world. I just don't, that's the problem. And the opposite end of that is the guys that train balls to the wall year round. You can't do that either. It's nice to say, it's nice in theory, but your body's not going to hold up to that. You have stuff that it puts a stress on, tendons, joints, things like that. And you got to give them a break, where and mentally, it's hard to go, 12 months a year suffering full bore. It's just not possible, but it's best to do it when you loaf, eat the candy, go to the movies, live a life with your family. But when you train balls to the wall, you train balls to the wall. You don't mix the two. And then when you're working on something, you work on something. And, bringing up your back or bringing up your legs or whatever.
Okay, so you're saying you got to train really hard and seriously, but you do have to take some time off.
The problem is most people that look the same time in and time out are the guys that are just taking time off all the time. They're just going through the motions. The other guys that are the minute few that are training hard year round, year after year, are the ones that are hurt all the time, grabbing their shoulder. Yeah, they got, and then you can't go in the gym at all if you're hurt. So
that being said, more and more people are training than ever. Do you think that more people are in shape now than when you started?
You would think, but the irony is more people train now than ever before. It's all, there's all kinds of bells, whistles, super balls, dildos. I'm just kidding. Whatever they train with in the gym, and the people are in worse shape than they've ever been. And it's because they really don't know what the heck they're doing, what advice to follow. When I first started training in gyms in the 80s, it was very much a underground cult type thing. And you had to, there wasn't a gym on every corner in LA.
The good old times.
Right. It's a little different down here because we train in a dungeon, which is kind of the old town fitness, which is kind of was a throwback to what gyms used to be. They don't have chain gyms here. I think there might be an Anytime Fitness, I think, here or whatever, Body Zone, whatever that is. But if you go to the major cities or sub-major cities like Orlando, for instance, there's 10 LA Fitnesses in town. These other places, Gold's Gym, LA Fitness, and everything. So they're on every corner, every strip mall. There's a gym, and you have tons of people going in that years ago when I first started would never have gone in a gym.
Big corporations, right?
Yeah. And it's not necessarily. It's just they have more access to it. And when I first started going to gyms, it was you had to seek them out and find them, and they really kind of looked at you when you wanted to join. And the people that were all in there were making progress. They were growing. They were lifting steel and things like that. They weren't, people just go into a gym now and some jagwad personal trainer that's more of a salesman than anything that's got some stupid ass certification. He'll point them in the direction. Here, let me test your fitness. Let me put your Fitbit in and all. That's all garbage. It's.
You can get your certification for $100 in 15 minutes online.
Yeah, I think I got one the other day, and a box of Cracker Jacks fell out next to a mystery decoder ring, and neither one of them worked, the certification or the mystery decoder ring. But no, I mean, there are some good trainers out there, but it's just a thing, it's most of them are not, and they're more salespeople, especially in those major cities where they have a cold call list. Hey, these people just joined. Hey, you want to come in for a free session? Here's the Stairmaster. Here's this machine. And it's not, let's do some, one arm balancing on a ball type stuff. And it gets you nowhere, and they don't ever progress. And that kind of leads in a circle back to your original question about people in the gyms nowadays. And I reiterate, it's not really a case where we come from, because we still have an old school gym, and the majority of guys that are in that gym want to be in that environment. There's no air conditioning. There's no pizza night on Monday or Tuesday like they have at whatever that one is, Planet Fitness. There's none of those things. It's, you want to lift because you want to look good naked or look good in the mirror or whatever. You come in there, and that's the difference. That's how gyms used to be. Now it's just, you might as well go in there and get a Big Mac,
So pretty much nothing changed. A lot of people were out of shape back then, and a lot of people are out of shape now.
I think people were in better, as a whole, were in much better shape then than they are now, even though they have more access now to the internet, to gyms on every corner. I don't know, probably has something to do with the nutrition and the lack of, the gaming, the lack of playing outside, whatever. But even though there's more gyms than ever, I think there's more, and I was looking at a spring break picture of mine from 1989, and it's Daytona Beach, and you see all the kids all around, and everybody looked like they were in decent shape, girls and guys, so I think if you did that same picture now, they wouldn't look as good. And people, they go in the gym, they're pretty much wasting their time. I don't mean to be a Nancy naysayer, but it is. I mean, it's, you have to, there's a science to it, but it's not brain surgery. It's time under tension, eating certain foods, and living your life a certain way, and you'll look fine and you'll be healthy.
Alrighty, so this was Anthony Eliopoulos and Jen Cherney signing off.